Austin, welcome to the Expert Circle podcast. Excited to have you on, hear about your journey with Clark's Landscaping. Yeah, how's it going?
Well, it's not too bad. Just finished up a day of football practice here in the winter season.
Yeah, you're telling me you coaching the kids and playing on the team too, so doing it all.
Yeah, yeah. I do love football. That is one of my main passions in life. And yeah,
Who's your team
so,
out there?
um, so I'm
Okay, uh, 49ers. I guess they're like maybe the closest team too.
yeah, pretty close. I mean, you got the Seahawks, you got the Raiders, but I mean, yeah. Been a 49ers fan all my life, though. What about you?
I guess I'm a Rams guy. My dad played football at USC.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and uh, yeah, so we used to go to the Rams, but then they weren't a team for a while, so it's kind of weird in LA, for
Yeah,
football. Yeah, so now, but I'm back on the Rams train. We're pretty good,
yeah.
honestly. Yeah, yeah,
Guess
uh,
we're rivals then.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, tell me about I'd love to hear how you got started, with Clark's, but maybe go back to that. I know tell me about your service. You're in the Army Reserve, is that correct? Or tell me about your journey, kind of as a young guy coming up, and what your life journey's been here.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm actually in the Army National Guard, similar to the Reserve, just a little different, just a different component to it. Yeah. I started off, I graduated from Wendell High School. I was looking forward to going to play football in college, but I didn't have any big offers. I could have went to a junior college, but I didn't see that in the cards for me. So I'm like, okay, I got to get started. And I just ended up going to work. So I bounced around from like factory job to factory job. I was walking around one day with my wife in the mall and I saw the National Guard recruiting office and I stopped in and just talked to the guy there. He kind of told me like, hey, you can be in the military, you can be in the army without having to leave your home like all the time. Like you'll drill and you'll be here in Idaho. Like you'll be around your people, but you'll be in the military.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And talked to the recruiter and eventually signed up. And I left in about 2014 and I joined the Idaho National Guard. And with that, it caused me some strife a little bit in life. I came back to my factory jobs, and they didn't like that. I left for basic training and basic training, and then AIT, and then just the follow-on schools. All the, you know, young naive me was like, okay, I'm only going to be gone one weekend a month, and then
Yep.
2 weeks in the summer. But that's not how it went. It's actually a lot more training involved, especially in the beginning. As a business, it's hard to have people like that, I guess. So things didn't go the best there, and I ended up moving on and kind of bounced around. I went back to another factory, and then I got sick of the factory life, so I tested my hand at selling stuff. So I went and worked at Sprint and Verizon for a little bit, selling phones.
Sure.
And then shortly after that, my wife was expecting. So yeah, we're expecting, and I'm like, well, I can't really raise a child off of selling cell phones. I got to do something a little better. Um, and in my football journeys, I ended up getting hurt to a point where I couldn't go with my unit on another long training. So I was stuck behind working with some recruiters,
Yep.
and they ended up picking me up and saying, "Hey, we really like you. We'd like you to come work for us full time." And so from there, in about 2016, and ever since, I've been working full time for the National Guard. I started off as a recruiter's assistant, just ADOS, just what they call just the active duty order, so just the temporary active
Yep.
duty order. I worked on that for a little bit, and then I grew up, and then ended up picking up an AGR job, which is a more full time active position, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of climbed through the ranks, changed MOSs a few times throughout,
Yep.
just whatever needed to be. And that's kind of really springboarded my life with all of that. I started Clark's Landscaping in 2017 when I found out that we were expecting him, like,
Yep.
okay, my dad's ran his own business forever. And he'd always tell me, like, hey, you got to bet on yourself in order to get ahead.
Yep.
And so I viewed it like if I have a 9 to 5, then I can always hustle over here and make sure that my family's taken care of. But then on the side, bet on yourself and hopefully it'll grow. And
Yep.
as long as you're doing the right things, it will. And so to kind of caveat to that, like the springboard to my life was that joining the guard and having that security right there, that extra blanket to risk everything on the business side. When I
Yeah.
started Clark's, it was just I was mowing 5 or 6 lawns by myself. I would go trim trees on the side by myself. Again, taught through my dad just on how to go through and do that. And then ever since then, it's been slow and meticulous of like, okay, I'll start doing this. I'll do a few more lawns, and it's been rinse and repeat. Like I'll lose those customers due to the National Guard. It kind of gets in the way here and there.
Sure.
So I identified a problem and I was like, okay, well, I can't be me doing all the stuff all the time. It's just not going to work.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
slowly over time, like I have a lot of family members that need to work, they need help. And
Yeah.
so I've kind of used family members. And that's to this day, when I met my wife, her little brother, Alex, 8 years old. And to this day, he's my guy.
I didn't know Alex was a family. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Clark's Landscaping, like the main dude to keep the work going without me is Alex. Now, I handle the bigger, the tree trimming, all the stuff that could be more meticulous or things like that. I handle that.
Sure.
But the I wouldn't say simple, but the regular, yard maintenance, the 9 to 5 type deal, the labor.
Yep.
Alex handles that, and we have Abel, my father-in-law, who helps out as well.
Yep.
And then as we've grown, we've added dudes along the way. My uncle has worked for me at a time. My brother, various cousins have jumped on here and there. And yeah, it just depends, with that landscaping, just to back it up a little bit, as we acquired, you know, dudes to take care of it for us, Alex and Abel, you kind of have to realize and take a step back and realize like, okay, it's not about me earning anymore. Now it's about taking care of them, and like let's make sure that they're good before like there's anything extra. And
Yep.
so slowly with that, I've just developed into what it is today. And that's, we got something going every season. Right now, we're in the worst season and we're in the most peculiar seasons. Last year, it snowed enough here for us to keep going. And, we secured enough contracts. We've gone out and done the right things.
Yep.
And there's no issues. Like, they're taken care of no matter what. If they got work, if they don't got work, that's okay. They can go out back. They can split wood. They can, whatever we got,
Yep.
they're good to go. But the winter season is the only season where it's like, shoot, we need something to do. Because
Yeah.
year in and year out, the spring, the summer, the fall, it's go, 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 go. And whatever we miss, we'll get to you next year.
Yep. Yep. So
And
what's that
that's,
growth been? I know you've expanded into the Christmas tree lighting and doing a little snow removal too.
yeah.
How much of that has filled in, and what's been the growth in those two areas?
So, yeah, about 3 years ago, I stumbled across an opportunity due to a wife's friend who was selling a Christmas light business, and it just happened that it was the time frame for this season is about October to like right before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Not ideal for us, but it slows down a little bit in that time frame. Like lawns are jumping off or about to shut down, especially depending on weather. And so with that, adding that like kind of niche business right there, it really helped open the door. And it's like, okay, we're super slammed no matter what. That it's like, okay, we need a few more guys to jump on and help in
Yep.
this time frame. And that's again the whole goal is to minimize the amount of slower down months. And with that, the Christmas lights have seriously like through November we're good, and then come January, so like right now we're gonna start doing takedowns. And there's not a lot, but it's something to get you through. It's a smaller month.
Yep.
Just kind of helps take that burden off the year for the guys. And then with that, like you said, the snow removal, that's huge. And I've learned many different avenues in this realm. Like it's all its own unique business: landscaping, snow removal, Christmas lights.
Yep.
It's all got its own twists and turns.
Yep.
And in this snow removal, there's certain things, if it's not snowing, most people around here, like there's not that many snow removal companies because it's so hit and miss. We'll get hit and it'll be the worst year ever, and then we might not see snow for 3 more years. You just never know here.
So
But
kind
there's
of
certain
guys
businesses.
like you that are diversified are the only guys that could really even do that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Exactly. And it's a very, yeah, and it is a very like unique background because without my background with the guard, I would not be able to risk what I've risked because then I'd have to feed my family off of what I was doing, which in turn wouldn't feed the guys working for me
Yep.
and able to buy the equipment in order for us to go out and do these jobs that we do. Because without that, like we can figure it out, but it's 10 times harder and it doesn't make sense in any part.
Yep.
So the way we do it now is about as optimum as I can think. If I had
Sure.
an outsider looking in, maybe he could help tweak things, but I'd say we're doing pretty good for the way we go.
Yep.
Um, we've been in business since about 2017, and we've never looked back. It just keeps getting bigger every year.
Wow.
So
Yeah, it's pretty cool to hear your story about that. Can see that it's created maybe like an abundance mentality for you where you're able to not be in this survival mode, but kind of build something for the future, build something that benefits other people. And yeah, it's pretty cool that you clearly have the entrepreneurial weird bug inside your DNA, and I have that too.
yeah,
You know,
for
respect
sure.
that. But yeah, probably in my journey, having something stable like you have there in your life, I could see a lot of situations where that would have been helpful in my journey as an entrepreneur. And what have you learned? In the army, working in the National Guard, that's helped you anything with business and being disciplined and how to be a leader. I know you're in a leadership position now with
Mhm.
your guys. Maybe tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So yeah, serving in the guard. I've worked my way through. I'm an E7 now. I'm the readiness NCO, so I handle like everything for the unit. The commander and first sergeant, if they need it, like I handle it. I direct it down to the unit, and the unit needs something, and I direct it back up to the top. So I'm like the middleman that
Yep.
kind of facilitates everything for the unit. Without what we do, our unit can't do anything. And so that's being in such a responsible role right there. It just turns. It's like the exact opposite on the civilian side over here. Of like, okay, it's just a natural reflection of like, okay, use what I do here and implement the things that I do here is, yeah, like you said, the leadership and the systems, the discipline, like, okay, XYZ has to be met. As long as we're hitting XYZ, then we will be successful. And it may not be that we're tip top of the mountain on every aspect, but if we're doing it right. And that's the way it needs to be done. And that's all that I could ask. And for the most part, that's the way it goes.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I would say the military has definitely played a huge factor in my entrepreneur, uh, like mindset, I guess. Make sure it's discipline
Level of
and then
discipline,
systems.
excellence. Maybe it sounds like.
Yeah. And always working to supervise and refine. It's something, in the military we have a saying, or not exactly a saying, but you have a plan, right? And your plan never survives first contact. So you have to have like contingency plans.
Yep.
And so you have to be very fluid and ready to move. And in landscaping, yeah, you're gonna show up and that customer's gonna be mad at you. And okay, well hold on, let's figure that out. What do we got?
Yep.
We can shift and go this way if we need. If you need us to leave, we can leave.
Yep.
Usually that's not the case, but
Sure.
you can take care of whatever is needed to take care of because we're very fluid and we're very open. It's not there's not a problem to move forward, and that's just something else I've learned in the military because there's also hurry up and wait.
Yep.
And then the second part to all of this is like in the planning process that you go through and you have what's called an after action review. So that's where you write down like three positives and three negatives, something you want to improve and something you want to keep the same. And
Okay.
so as you kind of do that as you're working through, you're like, okay, what did we do good here? Okay, we had great teamwork, but our communication wasn't the best. Okay, what can we do to fix this?
Yep.
We're doing all this work, but we're not collecting the money that we're trying to earn. Okay,
Right.
so how are we fixing this? How are we fixing this? Okay, I'm getting all these business calls, but I'm so busy doing everything behind the scenes that I can't handle it. And then you guys came along, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
like that's huge, huge. I
Yeah.
would say the first major springboard to my life as an adult was joining the guard,
Yep.
and the second was building my business. But the third biggest thing was you guys coming along. Like
Yeah.
seriously,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you guys have taken so much weight off my shoulders. Like
Sure.
the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like I'm not having to answer the calls. I'm in a different role now,
Yep.
where it's almost like I wouldn't say I don't know. It's more like I'm supervising and ensuring like the processes that you guys are handling for me are good, and the
Yep.
processes that I'm handling with the crew is good, and
Yep.
making sure the equipment's good. Like it's more of like a backseat approach almost, where it's like, okay, you guys are driving, let's see how this goes. And honestly, it's seriously grown it into such a way that this year my dad needed help doing more stuff at a dairy, and it was seamless. Nothing missed a beat in landscaping. I still work my full-time job at the army, and now I added something where I'm working 20, 30, 40 hours a week with my dad at a dairy.
Yep.
So it's just insane what you guys have opened up the doors for me to move forward with, as well as my business to continue to grow and
Yep.
just prosper. Really, that's That's what I'd say.
Very cool. So you were maybe a little bit more in the trenches before, and now you're able to have like a bird's eye view and really kind of,
Yeah,
perspective. Are you able to kind of see the future, next, the next steps and things that you want
yeah,
a little more
yeah.
clearly?
I'm starting to like marketing. I was always scared of marketing. Like, no, I can't get too big because I only got my guys. I only got so much I can handle, and I
Yep.
need that marketing for my winter months because I need that as big as I can. But
Yep.
everything else, I'm like, I'm tapped out. I'm so busy. But now I'm starting to see systems in unique like paths to things that we can replicate and continue to grow as a
Yep.
business. So I'm starting to see like, okay, it's something as small as like the layouts on my trucks and how we're doing things with the trailer, truck and trailer, and how we're storing stuff at the lot, and like just the systems in play that it's like, okay, cool, let's supervise and refine. Let's go back to that. Like, how
Yep.
can we improve here? And
Yep.
so, like with the scheduling piece and the answering the calls and all you guys on the front end of like, boom, okay, here's all this. And
Yep.
then in the middle of execution, like getting it all done. Okay, cool. We've had hiccups. We had a few hiccups throughout. Alex went down for a surgery. And so I was relying on my father in law. I'm not sure but he doesn't speak English. And
Yep.
a new Army guy coming in and kind of filling the void for a minute. Not nearly as knowledgeable as Alex, but still
Right.
stepping in and keeping it alive as best he could.
Yep.
Right. And so that's where it's just like, okay, cool. No single points of failure. We got to figure out another path instead of having one guy without English. You know what I mean? There's so much. One thing goes wrong, there could be so many problems, unique things that happen where it's like, okay, we got to switch it up and plug a hole here.
Yep.
And that's a role that I find myself in now, where it's not like, okay, I'm a guy on the ground that I'm just another guy that's working, and you can't really replicate yourself. You know what I
Sure.
mean? As well, you're sure nobody loves your business like you love your business.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna do what you want to do like you would do it. But
Yep.
you have to just find that middle ground where, okay, if you can do 80% of what I want, that's
Yep.
good enough because now I can focus on that other 20.
Exactly. Yeah. Very cool. That's interesting to hear about the mindset that I can see that you've been instilled in you through the military with adaptability and problem solving. I read Jocko Willink's Extreme Ownership book that had a big impact on me, but it seems like just as big of a part of the culture above just ownership and owning things and the empowerment that brings is this problem solving adaptability. I think that's just as important or more. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to take that home. Very cool. So what's the Clark's Landscaping, what's the breadth of you guys' services? Give me a rundown of like the things, maybe in order of kind of the biggest items that you guys hit for customers.
Yeah. So just going from the top, like our number one is like standard yard maintenance, right? That's what keeps the crews busy. That's the easiest thing to replicate. That's the easiest thing to do while I maintain the Army stuff. So anytime where I have breaks and stuff where I come in and I fill that void of like, okay, we can go trim trees, we can pour concrete, we can build fence, we can do landscape installs, irrigation, grass, gravel, you name it, whatever it is for landscaping right there, we can do. We do little hardscaping here and there. We've done several paver patios. Uh, yeah, excavation services. We've had our skids for a long time. We've done that a lot. Just recently picked up the excavator, and so that's where we're looking to put that to work. It'll help out on some of these landscape installs, and that was huge for us for there.
Yep.
Uh, Tree removal, tree trimming, of course, that's huge. Something I learned from my dad, and it's something I love to go do. We have tons of stuff set up there. We do a lot of junk removal. We'll do property clean outs. Yeah, like that's it for our spring, fall,
Sure.
summer services.
Yep.
We're looking for our winter services, Christmas lights and snow removal, obviously. Yeah, and we're looking to expand a little bit. We want to get into more of the spraying. I have so many calls that would come in. Hey, can you do spraying? And no, we're not technically licensed for that yet. We can't do that yet, but it's not too hard to go in and get licensed. We know what to do. We're just not licensed for it, so we don't do it. So working with Alex through this slow time.
What do you say? It's spring? What was that for again?
Spraying, spraying.
Spraying. Sorry. Okay. Got it. So
I'm
that's
here to get a lot of weeds.
got it. Okay. And that's like Roundup type of spray.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
2,4-D, like yeah, just all your standard chemicals that you apply to your yard.
Yep. I didn't know you had to be licensed for that. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, And then the Christmas lights and the snow removal as well, right?
So
Okay, very cool. What is, as a business owner, what's kind of the most scalable things, in terms of where you'd like to focus more energy and time of what's the most scalable stuff?
yes,
Easiest to train, the biggest, need in the community, or I don't know.
yeah, yeah. So that's exactly kind of where my mindset went this very year. Was like, okay, I need to figure out a way to step out as far as I can of my business, as far as like being the guy on the ground all the time. I need to
Yep.
step out of that. And with that being said, my thought on the best way to do that is just focus solely, like not solely, but like 90% is okay, we're out there and we're yard maintenance. So just like weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever recurring yard maintenance we can do, because that seriously impacts cash flow on everything as well when you have those recurring customers, and then you sell them, you set them up on like a year round package. You get them spring fall cleanup, you get them an offer for snow removal, you get them, you get them on a weekly lawn mowing route. You maintain anything you can, and then while you're there, you need a upsell. You know what I mean? You look around, hey, how about some mulch? How about some bush trimming? Anything you got that you could upsell right there, and that's kind of where I think we need to focus as a company, or turn our focus to increase revenue a little bit, is just upselling ticket items while we're at these customers' houses. When we notice these things, maybe just when we're sending them the invoice, hey, notice this, boom, put that on there, or something to that effect. But ultimately, the scalable piece, I would say, is definitely that, because there's plenty of room here. It's growing all the time. There's builders that are just building out of control. Like, things are always busy.
Sure.
3 years ago, like in the middle of the right after the COVID, it was the boom, the housing boom. Oh my gosh, Wolverton, one of the biggest bulk builders around here, was having us install for them,
Yep.
and we're just little guy in the back that was like, sure, we could do it.
Sure.
But that's where I learned, like, okay, that's not scalable because it's not me on the ground. And if I'm on the ground, okay, we're cool, we're executing. But if
Yeah.
it's not, they run into issues where it's like, okay, they're not quite to that problem solving level yet. That it's not, do I cut this corner? No, you don't cut that corner. Like, we need to make sure this is good.
Yep. So you're kind of looking at training your guys up to be better salesmen, right? Because that's a skill, and some of these guys,
Absolutely.
they're having to wear two hats, be really good at the service and sales,
Mhm.
and then maybe creating more services that make sense to upsell, right? Is that kind of the two
Yeah.
parts of that?
Yep. Yep. Figuring out like a standard thing that we could just go through and be like, okay, we see this, or this, and then
Yep.
kind of upsell it just as we see it, as we interact with the customer.
Yep. Yep. What are some of the biggest, challenges or things that you're facing to grow your business? Is it getting more customers, doing more upselling, training processes, the sales, what is that kind of bottleneck pain point, that is going to really have the most impact for you, or the couple ones that you're focusing on?
So I would say in years past, we've always been afraid to grow too big, but now we're opening up a new chapter. Like I said, without you guys, like this isn't even a question. It's not possible.
Yep.
But with you guys, now it's like, okay, we have a system now that is scalable. We can actually do this. And so with that being said, like I want to open up the book and see what we could do. So it's hard to tell if marketing and all of that is going to be my bottleneck. But I
Sure.
would say a real problem is finding good help, good quality help that wants to be here, that's going to maintain your stuff. You know what I mean? Because they're out there when you're walking around some of these mowers or these trucks or all the equipment, they have a good chunk of change in their hands that it's like, you got to take care of that.
Yep.
You can't just put any 16-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid. It's not,
Yep.
yeah, it's just lawn mowing, but we're professional, right? Like we're trying to aim for more than that.
Yep. Hopefully there's a mindset, I think with AI, and like the future used to be go get, $150,000 in debt and get a white collar job and it'll all work out. And now people are like, wait, like AI is taking over a lot of these jobs. And
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if there's a mindset shift of young men that are like really, pursuing the trades and, doing
that
that.
is an excellent point. I know you brought that up. There is starting to be a lot more competition. I'm seeing a lot of these upstart young businesses that are out there
Yep.
in the same field, of course, landscaping.
Yep. Yeah, no, there is more competition, and that's something that, I encourage, local home service business owners. There's programmers and all sorts of guys that used to have office jobs, and they're like, I'm getting becoming a plumber or landscaper or electrician, because they know their jobs is going to be gone in a couple of years, 5 years or whatever, or that you're going to
Mm.
need a lot less lawyers or whatever.
Got to
um,
have a good fallback plan, and that's something I've since day one. Is you got to have something right there for you all the time.
so like you're saying, there's going to be a influx flood of competition, and
Hmm.
if you don't have like all of your stuff dialed for marketing, and you're not the top guy, like there's going to be people that are stealing your biz, and so you got to, like, what worked 5 years ago might not work for the next 5 years. Like, you might have to be more excellent, in the
Yep.
marketing execution.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I think it could be an interesting time, as we're just rolling out your new site, with all the SEO signals that are happening there. I think there hopefully should be some organic, natural, more leads flowing in for you.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like when you Google my business before you guys took over and this other company, I tell you there was something else, but you Google them before, and I'm not even first page. I'm nowhere near it. Not even close. But you
Yep.
guys have taken over, and I've been doing it all the time. I tell my friends around me like, "Hey, look at this! Look at this! Look at this!" And right there, usually like top five. Most of the time, you find us top five, and that's in irrigation. That's in tree trimming, or not tree trimming. We're pretty low in tree trimming. That's okay, but lawn mowing, landscaping, all of those services, boom, we're right there near the top. And that's
Yep. Bam, bam.
yeah, they just
Um, yeah, that's something that's pretty cool. And that's the one thing that nobody else does other than us, is create these landing pages for you, these separate pages for every one of your cities and for every one of your services at scale. So we have about 220, I think, landing pages for you for XYZ service, XYZ city, and that's sending the signals, not just when people search on Google, but when people look in Google Maps, to Google Maps, to make sure that you're showing up in those areas. So
gotcha.
pretty cool.
It is working, I must say, because I never get phone calls for landscaping. Usually about the beginning of November, it's over. Like we don't get them, it's done because
Yep.
we don't market. Like I said, it's never been my care to market because we're word of mouth. We do a good job. We're on the ground. We handle it.
Yep.
But now with the systems in play, like we want to move forward.
What's up?
My bad. Sorry.
It's okay. What's your son's name?
His name's Jaden.
Jaden. Nice. Nice. I like it. Cool. No, it's cool for me actually to get to meet the fam, because we've talked on the phone a bunch, and even be getting to be face to face, and it's pretty awesome. And yeah, you've been great and great to work with, and like, yeah, if I could have 50 more Austins as clients, like it'd be pretty cool. So appreciate you as well. Cool. So that's interesting to hear, and it's interesting to hear for you. What are those scalable things to focus on? We're doing the Google Business Profile post for you as well, like pretty much daily. So,
Mhm.
feel free to be in communication with us and the team about, those areas that you want to focus on. Um, and we're in that, we've sent you those reports that have all the little dots for where you're ranking for different keywords.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our goal, is to not just focus on some random keywords and random area that you're not realistically going to be able to compete for. So if you're ranked right now 20 for some random keyword and city, we maybe don't want to focus on that right now, but maybe in another one you're ranked 6, and we want to get you in that top 3 map pack featured, you know.
Hmm.
So we're like, oh, that's low hanging fruit. Let's go after Wendell, lawn care, you're 6. Like, we could get you to 3 or whatever. And so
Yeah.
those are conversations we can continue to be having. I think we plan that out every 2 months. We plan out that kind of strategy for those 2 months.
Yeah.
We kind of reassess. So, we can just reminder, feel free to have impact, input on that. And you're like, hey, because if we can focus on this, service, for those Google Business Profile posts, that would be awesome, because that's really where we're looking to grow, and it's more scalable for us. So it sounds like it's the lawn care kind of stuff more so.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would say lawn care, snow removal, Christmas lights. That'd be, if we can get all of that,
Okay.
that's awesome. And then anything that falls in between, we handle,
Yep.
like a side projects that I just go do.
Yep.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good business model. The recurring revenue, definitely a good business model to focus on. Any advice? We touched on AI stuff a little bit. Um, Again, the dream of go to college and get a bunch of debt and get an office job. I think some people still think that's a thing, but it's like I talk to these kids in high school and see them at the gym or something, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to school to study to be a whatever," and I'm like, "Is that still a thing? Do we still need that?" And I'm uh, and any advice to you for you picked an alternative path, instead of going to university. And this is something I'm usually trying to coach, some of my younger friends and encourage them to, choose alternative paths like you've chosen. What do you feel like that path for military, for being a small business owner, being in a trade, for someone young coming up? What are you telling your kids? What do you have for the next generation?
So I'd say, just like we talked about in the beginning, that adaptability, it comes in twofold because you never know on the military side. Like things go crazy. Our unit just disbanded and they're getting sent up north. They're finding me a place here in Burley, but that's about 45 minutes away.
Yep.
But now they all joke about me like, hey, I know you got stuff going on the outside, and they're all tied to what they got, right? Like they're latched on. They don't have a choice. They're going wherever they're told. For
Yep.
me, if I truly wanted to, I could jump out now and go handle business and just do Clark's landscaping.
Yep.
So with that being said, adaptability, like in the beginning, I needed the army in order to grow landscaping. But now I have landscaping and I could leave the army. And so I'm very fluid in whatever way I want to go. Now I don't plan to leave the army. I'm not saying that, but
Sure.
my advice is to have your hands in as many pots as possible that you could like reasonably function without burning out. Because that's a big thing. Like there's many times that I was like, oh man, this is a hard path. It's not an easy path to be an entrepreneur, to be growing this, because everybody thinks like at the end of the day, you're just making money hand over fist. And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. I mean, the whole goal is to make money and eventually you will, but you got to put processes and systems into place. And until you can learn what those problems are and accomplish a goal to overcome those problems, then
Yep.
yeah, it's really, yeah, it's not there yet. But that's
Yep.
what's cool. As you came along at a point where I was starting to learn some stuff and like moving forward, and you unlocked a whole nother door with that. And so that's what's so cool about your business is your business helps people like me that are very like into the work and they can't figure out how to get back out of it and just take a step back and grow the business in the way it needs to grow. I mean, anybody can go out there and do it, but if you don't have the right systems and models in place, like you're destined for failure. And so that's, like I said, having your hands in the multiple pots, it's way less risky having the military on this side and having the entrepreneurial mindset over here and doing both at the same time. And that's my goal in life, is just to keep doing both until the end. I got about 9 years left in the military and I can be done here and walk into just managing a full grown, like in my mind, in 9 years, I'm hoping that you're making lots of money. I'm hoping that I'm making lots of money. I'm hoping we're all making lots of money, and we're providing a great service for the communities.
Yep. Yep. I think that'd be cool for you too, as well, to be able to grow, maybe hire some of veterans or guys that are still in the service, maybe that need that second, maybe income to where they feel like they're not super tied to that. Or so I think that would be cool as well to grow and see you become this bigger thing, because I think guys that have served are like the best, team members, right? As long as they have probably like a purpose. And can you
Mm-hmm.
speak to that? Like if you were to, hire some guys that are vets, what is that kind of mission and purpose that those guys need to really feel like they can be locked in? And
Yeah, yeah. And so with that, that's a great point. Going back to serving in the military, and having my business, people come to me if they need work. They come to me, and so that's a great feeling to be like, hey, let me help your family out. Like if you need help, I can put you to work doing this. XYZ thing, mowing lawns, come help me at a tree job. Hey, come out to the dairy, help me do concrete.
yep,
Whatever you got, I'll help you and pay you a decent wage to
yep,
come out. And yeah, we're all gonna win together. That's the way, that's the mindset is, it's not a me versus you. It's a let's overcome this problem together.
yep,
And so if you need help on the family side, like, okay, let's figure that out. Let's go. Whatever we gotta do.
yep,
And so with that being said, like the mindset working with these military people. Like I've had this year alone, I want to say there's been like 7 or 8 Army guys that have come out and helped me, like in certain capacities, right? Nobody's working. One guy works for me full time that worked for me in the Guard, but on the side, 6 of them plow snow for me.
Yep.
So if it would ever come, like last year, we're all one team, one fight, just banging it out. Everybody has their own individual routes, and then boom, we come together. Whoever's next, we go help that guy, and that's just the mindset. Okay, move forward together.
Yep.
It isn't I'm done, so get out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just teamwork.
The kind of brothers in arms vibe, and then those guys coming into the family business vibe, which is I think both really cool kind of cultures, and I'm sure they appreciate stepping into the family business and feeling like they're part of the the fam bam as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool. Awesome. Anything that your clients or potential clients don't really know about that you wish they knew about, or questions that come up consistently in terms of how to tackle XYZ, or maybe even preventative maintenance stuff, or things that you're constantly educating people about that you want to share?
When it comes to stuff like that, I mean, we're more like recurring service, so I would say like it pays to just talk to your landscaper, like talk to your guy, let him address those problems with your guy earlier and catch those problems beforehand, before it goes the season. And I'm sorry, like you're at the back of the line now. If we needed to get to this, like we're at such a scale that we can't get to that. And just communicate those ahead of time. That's what I'd say. That's what I see is like, hey, I wanted this and this done, but it's okay. Well, that's great. I would love to do that for you. If you would have told me ahead of time and we had this going on, cool, we can get there. But if you don't, then I mean, we'll get to you.
Set it, forget it. Being on the recurring plan with you guys really benefits everybody. Sounds like. Yep. Very cool. Awesome. Well, super cool connecting with you. Looking forward to growing together. Austin, you're an awesome guy. Anything else you want to leave the viewers with here?
Big game tonight for the 49ers.
Hey, let's go.
Just kidding. No, I'm so thankful that you called me on a whim, and this has grown to what it is now. It's been, we're not quite at a year. We're just shy. A couple more months, we'll be at a year.
Yep.
And that's pretty awesome. I'm telling you, like, I'm going to refer you to my plumbing buddy. I'm not going to refer you to any of my landscaping competition because I can't have you growing them over me. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, we can take like 3 guys and take them to the top because there's those 3 spots. So that's what I usually say is like, hey, we'll take 3 guys to the top spot, and then after that, we're done working in that area.
I got you. Yeah, I know. There's a couple other businesses that I've definitely like thrown a bone and like, hey, here's this, but
Yep.
I don't know, man. You guys are too good. Can't have that.
No, we appreciate you guys. I'm looking forward to continue to grow in your, organic leads and organic biz. We've been stacking that for how long has your website been live now? Your new site?
Like I don't know. Yeah, about a month or so.
Yeah. So, I think we're already seeing results from that, which is pretty cool. Sometimes it takes 2-3 months, but we're already seeing some results for that. So really looking forward to kind of stacking that and seeing how that changes business, opens stuff up for different people. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that are calling to say, hey, I can build you a website, do you want to
all the time.
And they're just like pushing a button and making an AI site that doesn't help with SEO or ranking or anything. And it might look cute, but it doesn't help. I think that was probably those last guys that you were working with, to be honest.
I mean, they try to horn in and say, well, look, your site was doing so good on the SEO. You were actually ranking near the top. I'm like, yeah, that's because the new company is doing that. Like, you're missing the point, man. And he tried to be like, well, they aren't even answering your calls. They aren't doing nothing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, we got to go. I'm sorry.
So that's what I'd say, to be careful for. There are a lot of companies with AI, the fact that you can push a button in like 5 seconds, make a cute site. But right now, maybe one day they'll be working for SEO, but right now they don't help at all for SEO really. Yeah. And then I think just for, you, like, we called and you're like, dude, I'm in, and you kind of probably had some instincts and you kind of sussed out whether you thought this was legit and you felt like it was the right vibe. But I thought you were open, and your open-mindedness to try new things, do new things. A lot of guys are like super salty and not like, open to change and like very distrusting, which, it's good to be distrusting on a level, right? But also when the right opportunity comes by, maybe that's your military mindset of like adapting, changing, like being ready for those moments. So
Mhm.
I thought that was something that's unique. We do talk to a lot of guys, and a lot of guys I'm like, dude, we can help you, but like you gotta let us help you, and you're
Yeah.
open energetically to good things happening, and I think that's going to continue to serve you really well, Austin.
Yeah. No, I really agree. I mean, from the beginning, I told you because I'm gone at least 2 weeks in the summer
Yep.
for the annual training, right? And so at that point, like I lose so much business just in that realm by itself. And
Yep.
so having you guys, like you already know, like there's many times that I'm just unavailable and that doesn't work being a business owner and being the single point of failure. So that's where you guys have come in and we didn't miss a beat. Like things are going crazy. It's awesome. It's worth every dollar that I pay you for
Yep.
sure.
And while I have you, as we're growing and offering more things to kind of meet your needs, I know you are maybe paying another service for social media. Teresa
Yeah.
talked about that. That might be something that we could help out with. And so we can, talk about that going forward. If here's your dream list of what that would look like, let us know. We'll probably be maybe 2 months from now rolling out some kind of solution for that.
Okay.
And, one of the reasons we're doing these, podcasts as well is so we can chop these up into nice 30-second clips and you're able to get authentic, awesome content. Some of these
Gotcha.
like social media companies are posting these like random things that like, this, you don't really get this
Yeah,
authentic.
there's nothing on it about it like at all. Most of the posts that I see, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like why even post, so this like gives, you might lock and loaded. We could give you 5 to 10 cool clips from this or something. So that could be cool. Yeah. Anything else that we can do for you to continue to grow? I'm thinking maybe like if you need help training your sales guys, like Alex, and putting together like that like script. I think that can be something that could be interesting. Reaching out and like upselling people. What's your conversion rate right now for invoices? It's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Mostly everybody's paying.
Yeah.
Um, there's a couple like larger commercials that just didn't pay because they have certain processes that they want to see
Yep.
this or that, like log in this or that, and I don't know. I hate some of those, but whatever. For the most part, we're getting paid for what needs to be.
And your bigger jobs that you're doing personally, are you sending out that invoice and then calling them right away to explain it?
Yeah, for sure. If but usually, like when I do those bigger jobs, like it's not a question. Like I've already quoted it, and we stick to that price for the most part. It's
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, that's, I think one of the sales things that, especially for bigger jobs, some of the local home service guys, it's like a $5,000 job or something, and they send the invoice out, and then they're just like hoping and praying, right? So
hmm
following that up with the sales call and saying, hey, I just sent you the invoice. I wanted to go over that with you on the phone and, see if you have any questions. And then you go over it with them. And then if it's like, okay, everything looking good for you. Okay, so if you want to move forward and lock that in on the calendar, you can click the link to throw the 10% deposit down. That'll kind of get us started and give us
yeah,
money to go buy materials, you know. And then they're like, well, and then maybe there's another objection that comes up. Well, actually, maybe, I'm concerned about this, and before I move forward, I was worried about this, and then you're able to on the phone like handle those questions and concerns. Um, and so for you, you guys are recurring. I don't think it's as much of an issue for you, but for some of those bigger jobs, that might be, interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, well, we're here for you. Whatever you need from us, let us know. It's cool to support you, and we want to see if you guys winning, we're winning. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, feel free to reach out. I'm here as well. I know you talk to the team often, but if you ever want to reach out to me, I'm happy to hop on calls and even strategize, to be honest, as another business owner, like having that, like, eventually I do want to create kind of like a founders club for local home service guys where we hop on a Zoom every couple months and we're like, hey guys, like what's working for this? What's working for marketing? Oh, you did Facebook ads. Is that working for you or not? And some guys like, yeah, I did Facebook ads and I got this great Facebook ad. Eventually we might do ad stuff, but or I have a supplier and you're talking to a landscaper guy or tree trimmer and Oregon, and he's got like, oh, I found used whatever equipment on this site and it was like so good and it's like way cheaper.
Yeah.
Or financing or insurance or whatever, talking about all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
we'll keep you updated on that. But until then, feel free to holler if you ever want to run ideas past.
Yeah, definitely. No, I've been thinking about it already. Just like what's next for, like, especially the marketing plan. Like I love the website. I love all of that. And I'm ready to, remember we were talking about campaigns of like what we got to do to drum up business.
Yep.
Because I kind of want to just stay ahead of each season, of like, okay, let's do door hangers or let's do Google ads or let's do Facebook ads, whatever we got to do, whatever you have to offer that you think would be best. Because you've been crushing it. And so that's where I'm just like, okay,
well, we got to do
whatever you got.
We have a really cool door hanger that we did for one of our tree trimmer guys up here in California. And it looks like it's written in like real ink. So it's blue and it took us forever to find the font that literally looks like it's handwritten,
Mm-hmm.
So we have a bunch of those. I think our guy like maybe didn't even like hand them out though. I think that's the the pain or whatever, the failure point there is like you gotta like hang them. So, but if you got your like kids on an e-bike or something and you're like, bro, here's your new job, you're like the door hanger guy.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of cool. But in the Big Bear area, it's like kind of these windy roads. I think it's harder to like hit those. But for you, I think it's much more efficient to kind of
we have lots of subdivisions where it's too easy to go put door hangers out.
Yeah, so I think that could be really interesting, doing the door hangers. And it says something to the effect of, hey, just finished a job, for another client, or I'm working on a job for another client down the street. If you have any needs for X, Y, and Z, like since I'm already got my equipment here, I could give you a little discount or something. And something to that effect and number. So yeah, I'll shoot you over what we did for our guy Glenn, and you can check it out. And if you want to do that, and you can have like the Christmas light one, the tree trim, landscaping one, and the snow removal one, kind of a stack of those. And then when things are slow, it's like boom, Alex or your slave labor.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Your son, slave labor from your son, get out there and get after it. So cool. Okay, Austin, you're awesome, dude. Appreciate you.
Really appreciate you, Matt.
Cool hearing your story, and we'll do another one in 6 months or so. We'll have round 2.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Matt.
Okay, see you.